Hello Aries and welcome to your June 2021 video. Now Mercury is in retrograde. Mercury is in retrograde until 23rd. So it's about slowing down. Conflict can happen, miscommunication, being misunderstood, feeling misunderstood, situations from the past, exes, all of that jazz of situations from the past, even friends, family, anything that you thought you'd let go of or was like done with, now it comes back to basically not haunt you, but just for you to relook at it, to heal from it, to see where you stand. Do you still have boundaries? How are you feeling? It's also a good opportunity for forgiveness if it is feeling, like the opportune time and maybe the person's involved. But if not, set those boundaries. This can also create a lot of frustration with delays in plans. Breakdowns in technology, all of that kind of stuff can happen during a Mercury retrograde. So be wary, be careful, and take your time. Also, delays when it comes to travels, lost items as well. We also have a solar eclipse, a beautiful solar eclipse happening in the month of June. So it's very transformative time and it's taking you 6 months into the year. Now, if you think about it, we're already in June. So where has this year gone? It went by so fast. But it's beautiful, especially if you are doing things and motivating yourself. And, even if you're not doing those things, sometimes even taking time out is just what we need. Either way, it's all about the self-work that you yourself need to do for you that's actually helping you feel better about yourself. That's the important thing. So on the 3rd, we have Venus joining Mars in that 4th house. Mars in the 4th house, Mars in the 4th house is a god of war, basically. Venus is about love, harmony. Now, as you can tell, it's like conflict and harmony in the 4th house. 4th house is your environment, home, family, soul family, people. How do you feel, people around you, basically, and how do you feel emotionally stable as well as physically stable? So in your environment, what changes do need to be made? The Mars will be motivating you, pushing you to want to make some changes, to find some inspiration. You might move things around. Venus creating some beautifying effects to your home life or environment. Anywhere that you spend a lot of time. Could even be work, like you want to rearrange your desk now because all of a sudden you want to feel different. And that's the thing about the 4th house. It's the heart. It wants us to feel and actually see that we are comfortable emotionally and physically. And then when it comes to your relationships with Mars there, it can create a bit of conflict when it comes to your personal relationships, especially family or soul family, people that you see close to you. But Venus wants to bring in some harmony. So it's all about balance, yeah? Balance between the energies of boundaries and harmony and where you see yourself and how you play it going forward, especially during a Mercury retrograde. Now, on the 10th, we have a solar eclipse in that 3rd house, joining Mercury retrograde in the 3rd house. Okay, 3rd house. Learning, information, wanting to learn something new, information, networking, connecting to friends. All of that kind of energy. However, there is a Mercury retrograde happening, so you need to be very wary of your mind, as it can like overplay things, overanalyze, be critical, or even communication with others when you're trying to network. You need to be wary now because Mercury is in retrograde and it's in retrograde in your 3rd house, joining that solar eclipse. So you're going to want these new beginnings with the Mercury retrograde in that same area. So you need to take it slow, really reassess things before making a decision. You could also, communication could change. It can go one way or the other here. You need to be wary of, sometimes dishonesty, all of those kinds of things, especially when it's happening in the communication sector. With that solar eclipse, you might realize, ooh, maybe I shouldn't be talking to these people no more. I don't like how they make me think about myself. Maybe they put me down too much. Maybe they don't inspire me. All of that kind of things you'll be looking for, but you need to be very wary of your mind too. Great time for you to ground yourself and set healthy communication boundaries within your relationships and anyone that you connect to, because it isn't the 3rd house. It's communication basically with any space that you spend a lot of time with and how the communication is going, friends, groups, a WhatsApp group or a Facebook group, anything where the communication is just like, ooh, this is not really good for my mental state. Great for information, great for gathering information, learning something new, networking, putting out information, just read and reread things before you post it, all of those kinds of things. On the 12th, we have Mars in the 5th. So now you want to have a little bit of fun. Mars is in your 5th house. Mars is the planet too of action, motivation. Yes, it can be the god of war, but in the 5th house, you want to have fun. That's how it'll play out in the 5th house. You want to have fun. You want to do something fun. You want to relax. You want to, get involved in some romance even. Because the 5th house rules romance, creativity, fun, inner child, children. So connecting to children or connecting to your inner child, giving yourself that fun to reawaken that inner child so you feel like you're having a good time and enjoying life. Creative ideas when it comes to your work. Creativity will be booming. You'd want to take action on your creative ideas as well. Like you'd be like having all these ideas. So, drafted so long. On the 21st, we have the sun in the 4th house. Now, this is good because we'll be joining Venus, so you'll find some harmony when it comes to your, family and your home environment as well. Venus will be beautifying, sun will illuminate and wanting you to maybe even, open the curtains, make it brighter, anything to liven up the place. And as well as your family as well, you might receive news of family, good news even. So enjoy that. Finally, Mercury is now direct on the 23rd. So you can, all those ideas you've been having, all the action that you were taking with that Mars in the 5th, now you can finally feel like, oh, I can really now implement even once Mercury is direct. On the 24th, full moon, 10th house. So most of your energy is the bottom of the chart, so it's important to ground yourself and it's important to weigh out things. But a full moon, the 10th house, is the world, career, our achievement, success, and how we are seen by the world. And there might be a change when it comes to the career, as in like what you really want. You might see things in your career life that is like, oh, this really needs to change. This really needs to change. It's really bugging me. That's what full moon is. It connects us to emotions, shows us things that need to be changed. Things that maybe you feel aren't fair or aren't right, or just like, oh, working with this person is just like working on my nerves. That kind of energy where you want to create a change. Maybe you might not interact with them as much, or maybe you might take a step aside. There's something that you do when it comes to your career so that it can push you forward, but by letting go of the baggage. Okay, so your card is fairness. All right? The situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. So remember, we spoke about the Mercury retrograde and the communication, and we spoke about the 4th house and having Mars in the beginning of the month there, which later moves into your 5th house on the 12th. So know that if you're feeling like things are unfair, things will be handled in a fair manner. Okay, if you're feeling things is a little like getting, too much of conflict and too much of drama and too much, the miscommunications and the mishaps, know that it'll be handled in a fair and just manner. Make sure that you are being fair and just. Make sure that if you're judging a situation, that this has been happening for a while. There's a time and a space where we give room. We're like, okay, maybe these plants be acting up, and now you acting up too. Or maybe it just lets you see clearly, and you just can't, to you that situation's not fair. But this is a lot to do with your own heart. And we spoke a lot about that 4th house in the heart. And what is fair to you? What is balanced to you? What makes you feel comfortable? And make sure you're treating yourself fairly, you're treating others fairly, and you're giving it time. You're giving the Mercury retrograde time as well, because this too shall pass. Miscommunication can happen then, and it can stir up some drama. But you need to make sure that you are staying in the fair path, and you're not getting too involved in it to the point that now it's emotionally keeping you up at night, and you're not eating and you're not sleeping, and you're just reacting, and it's just spinning. Keep it fair and know that everything will be handled in a fair and just manner. And especially if you've been treated in an unfairly manner, justice will be, rewarded with this card. Okay. So thank you so much for watching. Do like and subscribe.